Mavericks.
We are now back on Facebook and YouTube and firing on all cylinders. And all the best to Kayla Pollock as she makes her way through life. And hats off to V4F for stepping up and providing support. And you know who else needs support and help out there? The people of East Palestine, Ohio. Today, Joe Biden finally made his way back to the community made his way to East Palestine, Ohio, the site of that horrific, disastrous Norfolk Southern train derailment. Chemical spill. Then the chemicals were set on fire. Huge black cloud smoke spewing toxins into the atmosphere and all over the land in that area. Residents still dealing with it, and Biden didn't visit. Trump went to show his support for the people of East Palestine, but the president, Biden, just showing up now, a year later. A year later. We're going to go there and share this news conference with you now. These are the comments from Joe Biden, who points his finger directly at Norfolk Southern and I think he's looking to Norfolk Southern for the solutions rather than coming to East Palestine with solutions of his own, even as the leader of the free world and the country, where it's, I don't know, this is a strange thing, in my view. I can't believe that it has taken him this long to show up, but here he is. These are his comments. Let's go there now.
Thank you for the welcome, but more importantly, for your leadership. I really mean it. We talked outside there.
Thank you, sir.
You've been through hell. And I also want to thank the EPA administrator here with me, EPA Administrator Regan, as well. We just included a briefing about the Herculean efforts, and that's not a hyperbole, the Herculean efforts that were made in the year since this tragedy. But what's happening in the morning, the evening of, and the next day, and the weeks and the following is amazing. It's absolutely amazing what this community rose to. You know, I want to thank the folks of East Palestine to know, I want them to understand that we're not going home no matter what till this job is done. And it's not done yet. There's a lot more to do. The vast majority isn't done. But we're going to stay to the very end. Every need is met. And we continue to hold Norfolk Southern accountable, make sure they make your community whole now and in the future. And what they do not make whole, what they cannot make whole, what isn't made, the government will make whole. We have an obligation. We have an obligation. I can already see this derailment won't define you. It just, it defines you in a different way. Your courage, the resilience of this community, and the compassion that you've shown for all your fellow citizens. Let me be clear. While there are acts of God, this was an act of greed that was 100% preventable. Let me say it again. An act of greed that was 100% preventable. We were pushing the railroads to take more precautions, to deal with braking, to deal with a whole range of things that were not dealt with. Norfolk Southern failed its responsibility. We know multi-million-dollar railroad companies transporting toxic chemicals have a responsibility to do it safely. And again, Norfolk Southern failed. My administration was on the ground within hours, working closely with the governor, the mayor, the senators, the House members, community leaders, to make sure you have everything you need. My administration ordered Norfolk Southern to clean up the mess it created and ensure it was done right. That includes an executive order I signed to continue our priority to hold Norfolk Southern fully accountable for this disaster and any long-term effects that are able to be identified as time goes on. Not just here, but also in Darlington, Pennsylvania, where I just visited an hour or so ago. Working with the state, we've tested the air, the water, the soil quality, deployed teams of health experts, provided emergency loans for local businesses. But it's not done yet. There's more to do. Today, I'm announcing the award of 6 National Institutes of Health grants to some of America's best research universities to study the short and long-term impacts of what happened here. That includes just north of here, Case Western University. So you'll have a top researcher with you as long as you need, as long as it has to go on. I also want to restate my support for the bipartisan rail safety bill. Senator Brown and Senator Vance and the congressman from Pennsylvania and others require stronger protective measures when trains are carrying hazardous waste. Storage tank cars. We argued about this for years. They should be stronger. They should be able to survive crashes without exploding. Undated brakes that meet higher safety standards. The fact of the matter is there was a lot of discussion ahead of time before this occurred about the safety of the braking systems of many of these railroads or trains. More staffing on trains so that there are more people to respond immediately to a crash and to do so much more in relation to the safety of the transportation. And it's important that the Senate follow the House and pass the tax reform bill, which makes sure that folks who don't get hit with a tax, a surprise tax bill, for compensation owed them by the railroad. That's not taxable income to them. We've got to make sure that that occurs, that no one is taxed for anything that is reimbursed or received from Norfolk Southern. It's not right. I support this tax reform bill, and we got to get it done. All told, we have done in 1 year what would typically take many years, and we're going to keep going. Like I said, your compassion and resilience of the leadership of this community and the people of this community, the courage of your firefighters, law enforcement officers, first responders who are running in danger to save.
Okay, so I don't, he says, we're not going home until you're there. Who's not going home? He's not going home? I guess he means the people that he sent there to do work, or whoever is there. We're not going home until the job is done. And then he says, you won't let this define you, but it will define you in a different way. I don't even know what that means. Is he reading this stuff, or is he just mumbling his way through it, making it up, or is he screwing up the script? I don't know. Some of these comments make no sense. And of course, accepting no responsibility himself, pointing his finger entirely at the railroad company, which does have a responsibility and obligations here. But he needs to be providing leadership, and has, in my view, really, and this is my editorial opinion on this, it is, he's absolutely failed the people. He's come up way short. Is Donald Trump today posting, I don't know if I left it up. I think I took that tab down. But he said that it's an insult to the people of East Palestine for Biden to show up there. In fact, let's go to the mayor of East Palestine here now and pick up his comments. He's coming to the podium. And yeah, here we go. Here's the mayor of East Palestine.
Thank you all for coming. On behalf of the village of East Palestine, I want to welcome President Biden. As we pass the first anniversary of the train derailment, the village of East Palestine appreciates the support from the US EPA, the Department of Transportation. We'd also like to thank Governor Mike DeWine, the Ohio EPA, the Ohio EMA, and the Department of Public Safety, and all of our state and local partners that have been with us since the beginning. Our village has faced many challenges, but as a community, we have shown resilience. We will not be defined by this single event, rather our response to it and our perseverance. President Biden, your long-awaited visit to our village today allows us to focus on the things we agree with, acknowledging this disaster should have never happened, address the long-term health concerns and the economic growth of the village, and ensure this never happens again to another community. Our goal is to be collaborative and proactive, collectively taking control of what we can shape for a stronger future. This includes support of bipartisan railway legislation, federal tax relief for funds received by from Norfolk Southern, along with your unwavering support and assurances that our long-term concerns and needs will be addressed, which we have expressed here today, sir. We will not stop working, though. We will continuously strive to improve, not relying on just external aid, but on each other and our own efforts to elevate the village. We are committed to seizing every opportunity for growth, enhancing our community's strength, resilience, through initiative and perseverance. Here in East Palestine, we are rooted in pride, tradition, and unwavering in our drive for progress and to determine the outcome of any obstacle. I thank you all for coming here today, and God bless East Palestine and the United States.
And so ends the news conference with Joe Biden, who sort of hobbles away again. We're going to come back after this, and I'm going to bring you Donald Trump. I have reaction coming in tonight to the decision by that New York judge that decided to level pretty serious financial penalties and prohibitions against Donald Trump and his family, now crippling his ability to do business in New York for at least the next 2 to 3 years. Stay with me, more ahead.
The New World Order. Government overreach. The Great Reset. Mainstream media lies. Now more than ever, independent voices are needed. Donate now, at freedomreporters.com. That's freedomreporters.com. Maverick News. The antivirus program. For your mind.
Okay, I'm back, and yes, we now have Donald Trump here. I've got his reaction to what happened to him in court today in New York, and he is saying that what we witnessed in the courtroom amounts to nothing less than election interference. Here it is. This is what we've got.
But this is a very dishonest man. This is a man that's been overturned already on this case 4 times. But a crooked New York State judge just ruled that I have to pay a fine of $355 million for having built a perfect company. Great cash, great buildings, great everything. It affects New York. It's mostly talking about New York, where we have a totally corrupt attorney general. She campaigned on the fact that I will get Trump, I will get Trump. Everybody's seen it. Letitia James, they've all seen it. Well, we'll be appealing, but more important than that, this is Russia, this is China, this is the same game. All comes out of the DOJ, it all comes out of Biden. It's a witch hunt against his political opponent, the likes of which our country has never seen before. You see it in third world countries, banana republics, but you don't see it here. So I just want to say this. You build a great company. There was no fraud. The banks all got their money, 100%. They love Trump. They testified that Trump is great customer, one of our best customers. They testified beautifully, and the judge knows that. He's just a corrupt person. And we knew that from the beginning. We knew it right from the beginning because he wouldn't give it to the commercial division. This judge thought Mar-a-Lago is worth $18 million, and it's worth anywhere from 50 to 100 times that amount. So we realized that. He ruled against me before he even got the case. He ruled against me. He said I was guilty. He didn't know what I was guilty of before he even got the case. And Letitia James, that's another case altogether. She's a horribly corrupt attorney general, and it's all having to do with election interference. There were no victims because the banks made a lot of money. They made $100 million. And by the way, I paid approximately $300 million in taxes as the migrants come in and they take over New York. I paid over this period of years over $300 million in taxes, and they want me out. Oh, let's see if we can get them out. These are radical left Democrats. They're lunatics, and it's election interfering. So I just want to thank you for being here. We'll appeal. We'll be successful, I think, because, frankly, if we're not successful, New York State is gone. People are moving out of New York State, and because of this, they're going to move out at a much faster rate. They used a statute. It's a consumer fraud statute that's never been used for a thing like this before. They used it on me because I'm running for president. I'm beating Biden by a lot. We're beating not only the Republicans, we're beating Biden by a lot. The poll came out today, we're up 20 points on Biden. If I weren't running, none of this stuff would have ever happened. None of these lawsuits would have ever happened. Nothing would, I would have had a nice life. But I enjoy this life for a different reason. We're going to make America great again. These are corrupt people. These are people that shouldn't be allowed to do the things they do. And they're using this as weaponization against a political opponent who's up a lot in the polls and always will be, because I'm competing with a man who can't put two sentences together, who doesn't know what he's doing. And we're heading into a third world war because of this guy. We have to win this election. They're doing everything possible to step in our way, but we're not going to stand for it. So thank you very much. We will get back to work. It's a ridiculous award. Listen, a fine of $355 million for doing a perfect job, for having paid back a loan with no defaults, with no problems. The banks were totally, at the trial they testified. We had an expert witness from the Stern School at NYU that made a statement, and I was very honored by his statement. He's one of the most respected people anywhere in the country for doing this kind of thing, expert witness. He said, this is one of the greatest financial statements I have ever witnessed before. And he talked about even the detail. So my numbers actually were extremely conservative. They saw this. So what the judge did is he brought down certain values like Mar-a-Lago, made it ridiculous. But the expert, after having all of this, testified it's one of the best financial statements he's ever seen. And I was honored by that. But I also knew we have a corrupt judge. He's not a respected man. And again, I said before, he's been overturned on this case by the appellate division 4 times already. It's a record. Nobody's ever been overturned on one case 4 times. And I think very importantly, and I think ultimately the most important, we've employed tens of thousands of people in New York, and we paid taxes like few other people have ever paid in New York. And they don't care about that. It's a state that's going bust. It's a state that's going bust because everybody's leaving. And it's all headed up by Biden, who's destroying our country. So this is Russia, this is China, this is what you've been reading about all your lives, and it's happening right here in our country. Thank you very much. We will stop it. We will make America great again. You have my word. Thank you very much.
Donald Trump. Stay with me. More right after this. Let's get rid of those pesky Knights of Malta.
Exile. The Knights of Malta. Maverick News. Join us. The world is watching.
Okay, and what I'm going to do now is we're just going to run a little bit of, I'm going to switch gears, like literally, since the top of the hour. You know, the Canadian International Auto Show kicks off, opened to the public today in Toronto. So I thought what we would do is I've got this episode of the SST Car Show queued up, and we're going to, we're frozen on Rumble again. I don't know what to do about it, folks. It is sort of beyond my control when Rumble freezes up. Nothing I can do. And I do see it freezing. That's unfortunate. Okay, so it's the top of the hour. And we do have, so we're just going to switch programs. If you'd like to stick around, we'll spend the next short while. It's just a short episode, and it gives you a preview of we're going to look at some concept cars, some pretty cool stuff, and also take you for a preview of the Canadian International Auto Show in Toronto. So we'll do that right after this.
Feel the vibrations. Our quest continues. The truth is out there. We are Mavericks.
Autonomous vehicles under fire, literally. Chrysler has a very cool new electric vehicle concept called the Halcyon, and Aston Martin unveils the all-new Vantage for 2025. I'm Rick Walker. All that and a whole lot more coming up right here on the SST Car Show. SST is brought to you by Super Geeks. Geek out at supergeekssuperstore.com or talk to a real super geek at 1-866-248-1490. So late last year, deliveries of Cybertrucks began, but already some owners are expressing concerns about rust spots developing on their Tesla vehicles. So according to these reports, some of these trucks are developing orange spots, specks of rust under certain conditions. And that, of course, is a major concern, especially considering that these are a pricey vehicle to purchase. And they are made of stainless steel, so you would think they wouldn't rust. But according to the company that supplies the stainless steel to Tesla to produce the Cybertruck, Mead Metals, company officials say stainless steel can indeed rust under certain conditions, especially, they say, when exposed to water. Yeah. It takes water, moisture, and oxygen to cause the oxidation to produce rust on metal. And that's what some Cybertruck owners are reporting. So according to the Cybertruck owner's manual, Teslas lack a clear coat on the exterior stainless steel body, as seen in videos posted online. The manual advises immediate removal of any corrosive substances to prevent damage to the exterior. So this is footage from the latest Cybertruck launch or reveal, the newest model. Some people love the design. Other people, not so much. Me personally, I don't really care for it. In fact, I think it's one of the ugliest vehicles on the road, to be quite honest. It's just me. I don't like the lines. These Cybertrucks look like they could be used as props in the 1980s Battlestar Galactica series, which I loved. But I don't know. It's even there, while they do look futuristic, they just look clunky to me. The lines don't look finished. I generally like angles and sharp lines in automotive design, but in this case, it's just too backwards wedgy for me. But again, my personal opinion. How will these stand up over time if they are already showing some rust spots now? I don't know what to expect from them in areas where salt is used on the road. That could be a real concern for people, especially when you're spending the kind of money that they want for one of these Tesla Cybertrucks. So if you do get rust spots, I guess they can be buffed out, but this is definitely something Cybertruck owners will want to keep a very close eye on. Some people are simply not happy with autonomous vehicles, self-driving cars. So, evidence of that can be found in this video from San Francisco's Chinatown, where an angry mob assaulted, vandalized a Waymo taxi cab. Waymo is the autonomous driving company that is owned by Alphabet, which is Google. People just let loose on this taxi cab, and it gets worse. And there are reasons why. Look at this guy with the skateboard smashing this thing. Not happy with these self-driving cars. Why? Well, accidents. It was about a week ago. There was a cyclist in this area that was hit by a driverless vehicle. So people have safety concerns surrounding them. And now lawmakers in California are calling for tougher regulations to govern self-driving vehicles. There is proposed legislation that would require an actual human being to be behind the wheel of autonomous vehicles of a certain size and weight. That legislation, of course, not passed into law yet. But this particular incident escalated to the point where we got this. They actually set this thing on fire. Look at that. And so politicians who have been pushing for the expansion of, or the electrification of automobiles are now taking another look at this because of safety concerns. But I think the discontent with electric vehicles that are autonomously driven goes beyond safety. I think a lot of people are upset to the point where they are actually vandalizing these vehicles because they see them as a threat to employment. Self-driving vehicles replacing taxi drivers, truck drivers, even people who deliver pizza. Don't go away. SST continues right after these messages. Finally, an affordable brand name hearing solution from Signia, a global leader in hearing aid innovation, and Super Geeks. Tonight's a special exclusive offer. Get cutting-edge medical-grade digital technology for just $149. Call 1-866-248-1490. Classic behind-the-ear design. Adjustable for mild, moderate, and even severe hearing loss. Traditional controls. So easy to use. Quality assured. from Signia by Siemens. Value from Super Geeks. Call 1-866-248-1490 or visit supergeekssuperstore.com. Order now.
Sally hates paying for cable TV, so she got the Super Geeks Super Tana. Sally called 1-866-248-1490 and ordered online at the supergeekssuperstore.com. Now she watches dozens of high-definition TV channels for free. Sally gets all the major networks and specialty channels, even old classic shows. You can too, and save money every month. 100% legal. No more monthly fees. Her picture quality is as good as or better than cable. She even gets channels the cable companies don't offer. Compact enough to mount in your attic or on your balcony, and tough enough to mount on your roof. Plus, the Super Tana comes with a video amplifier and wireless remote control. Call 1-866-248-1490. That's 1-866-248-1490. Get smart like Sally and order your Super Tana at supergeekssuperstore.com.
Millions suffer from hearing loss. Super Q hearing buds from Sound of Life are today's newest solution. Affordable and fashionable. Only you'll know you're wearing a hearing aid, because these look like modern wireless earbuds. People will think you're using them with a cell phone or to listen to music. But Super Q hearing buds are actually high-tech digital hearing amplifiers. The reviews are conclusive. Super Q hearing buds are amazing. Recharge quickly, wear all day. Each bud is specially molded for a snug fit. One for the left ear, one for the right. Super Q hearing buds. Simple one-tap operation. Allows easy volume adjustment with digital noise reduction. Call 1-866-248-1490 to order. On sale, half price, just $129.99. Or order online at supergeekssuperstore.com. Order with no risk. Quality and satisfaction guaranteed.
You want to know what's really going on? Get to the truth behind the headlines with freedom-focused cutting-edge programs on the all-new Maverick News Channel, The Rick Walker Show, The Freedom Reporters, and The Brendan Kennedy Show, broadcasting online every night from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. or watch anytime on demand at mavericknewschannel.com. Go to mavericknewschannel.com and defrag your mind. New freedom-focused journalism grounded in reality for a world that has gone insane. You are watching SST.
Chrysler has unveiled a very cool electric concept. It's called the Halcyon. Now, this vehicle, it draws design inspiration from a classic old Chrysler called the Airflow, which was in its day extremely aerodynamic and was considered to be very much ahead of its day in terms of engineering. And that is where Chrysler would like to be again in the future, in the not too distant future. In fact, Chrysler is hoping to make big inroads into the EV vehicle world in new ways by 2025 with a whole new lineup of EV vehicles, many of which will draw design and engineering inspiration from the Halcyon. Now, this vehicle apparently will be employing or could employ new charging technology that would allow it to go all the way across the country without ever plugging into a charger.
With Halcyon, charging in range will never be an issue with its unlimited miles of range, thanks to dynamic inductive charging, which allows for charging via non-contact transfer even while underway.
In addition to that, the Halcyon would be equipped with a variety of autonomous driving features, including self-parking. Plus, it also features something called stargazing mode.
The heads-up display can map constellations in the night sky, even as you're driving, taking stargazing to a whole new level.
Now, some of the tech built into the Halcyon is maybe not science fact today. It is kind of science fiction-y, but It looks like Chrysler is on the cusp of introducing new tech that could be science fact very quickly, maybe even within a year or two. And of course, you don't get all that tech without some sort of a high-tech infotainment system. And in this case, it's highlighted by a 15.6-inch touchscreen interface that can be flipped from portrait to landscape. It isn't all new in terms of technology and engineering, because the Halcyon also draws engineering inspiration from vehicles like the Chrysler minivan, which has employed stow-and-go seating. So you're getting some of that design in the Halcyon as well. So the Halcyon obviously is not in production right now. It probably will never go into production as a standalone vehicle. But it does give us an indication of where Chrysler is going in the future with its design and engineering. So look for the tech that is present in the Halcyon and the design cues to show up in future Chrysler vehicles as early as 2025. More power and updated design. Aston Martin has now revealed the new 2025 Aston Martin Vantage. It is, in a word, gorgeous. Check this thing out. It is more muscular in its overall look. And yes, it does have a whole lot more power. So let's talk about that powertrain. All the power comes from a hand-built AMG-sourced 4-liter twin-turbo V8. It produces 656 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque. That's a major increase, an additional 153 horsepower and an additional 85 pound-feet of torque. With that power, you can now accelerate in the 2025 Aston Martin Vantage from 0 to 60 in just 3.4 seconds, and it has a top speed of 202 miles per hour. An incredible piece of engineering. The power flows through a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. It, of course, comes with a variety of driver assist features, including stability control, e-differential, a whole range of that kind of technology is employed here. But it's the quality and the exclusivity of the Aston Martin that really makes it a car with high appeal. Production of the new 2025 Vantage is beginning, with the first deliveries due in the second quarter of this year. Has the Canadian government declared war on cars? Well, some people certainly seem to think so, and there is evidence for it. In fact, the federal government has announced a new plan to stop building roads. In fact, it could be the first time, maybe the only time, any government anywhere in the world has ever made such an announcement. Now, to clarify, Canada's Minister of Environment, Stephen Guilbeault, has indicated that the federal government will stop building new roads, but will continue to maintain existing highways and byways. Why are they doing this? Well, the Canadian government under Justin Trudeau wants to discourage vehicle use and encourage people to cycle more, snowshoe more, and walk more.
When the Prime Minister appointed a radical activist to be the Environment Minister, we knew that this Liberal government would be implementing extreme and divisive policies, but this latest Liberal announcement takes the cake. This may be the first time that any government anywhere at any time has promised to stop building roads, but that's exactly what the Liberals have done. This extreme new policy means that these Liberals are against adding more lanes to the Trans-Canada Highway between Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. Why do the Liberals want to kill these projects, which will help end gridlock and get people to work?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary. Very interesting, Mr. Speaker. He should have checked the record. It's stunning. As a BC MP,
He voted against over $1 million for the 100-mile horse Loke Road Bridge replacement in that province. It's an example of conservative hypocrisy on the other side. On the one hand, they want to stand for infrastructure investment and supporting roads. On the other hand, anytime this government has attempted to do that, they've voted against it. We'll continue to work with provinces, with municipalities to make that a reality.
The honourable member from Chilliwack Hope.
This radical minister made it very clear that this Liberal government will no longer allow funding to go towards building roads. And it's no surprise that a guy that scaled the CN Tower or climbed on top of a premier's roof would come up with an extreme policy like building no more roads in this country.
Already, we're seeing some situations where bridges are falling into disrepair, and the federal government is not putting up funds to fix them. The Trudeau government, Trudeau himself, they're tanking in the polls right now, and a federal election in Canada could be called as early as sometime this year, by 2025 at the latest. And at that time, we'll see how this goes over with voters in Canada. Don't go away. There is more SST right after these messages. Finally, an affordable brand name hearing solution from Signia, a global leader in hearing aid innovation, and Super Geeks. Tonight's special exclusive offer. Get cutting-edge medical-grade digital technology for just $149. Call 1-866-248-1490. Classic behind-the-ear design. Adjustable for mild, moderate, and even severe hearing loss. Traditional controls, so easy to use. Quality assured. From Signia by Siemens. Value from Super Geeks. Call 1-866-248-1490 or visit supergeekssuperstore.com. Order now.
Do you want to know what's really going on? Get to the truth behind the headlines with freedom-focused cutting-edge programs on the all-new Maverick News Channel, The Rick Walker Show, The Freedom Reporters, and The Brendan Kennedy Show, broadcasting online every night from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. or watch anytime on demand at mavericknewschannel.com. Go to mavericknewschannel.com and defrag your mind. New freedom-focused journalism grounded in reality for a world that has gone insane.
Hey, car lovers, rev up your wardrobe. Crafted by Dickies, these long-sleeve shirts are not just stylish, they're a testament to durability. Whether you're at a car show working hard or hitting the streets, our shirts provide comfort, ease of movement, and a generous fit. Support independent automotive journalism in style. The SST Car Show logo, embroidered in stunning silver metallic thread on the left breast, makes a tasteful statement. Yours for just $39.99. Order now through Super Geeks at thesupergeeksuperstore.com or call 1-866-248-1490. Call now, 1-866-248-1490. Join the world's coolest gearheads in style. Get your SST Car Show shirt where high quality meets high octane. Order your Dickies SST Car Show shirt now.
Millions suffer from hearing loss. Super Q hearing buds from Sound of Life are today's newest solution. Affordable and fashionable. Only you'll know you're wearing a hearing aid, because these look like modern wireless earbuds. People will think you're using them with a cell phone or to listen to music. But Super Q hearing buds are actually high-tech digital hearing amplifiers. The reviews are conclusive. Super Q hearing buds are amazing. Recharge quickly, wear all day. Each bud is specially molded for a snug fit. One for the left ear, one for the right. Super Q hearing buds. Simple one-tap operation. Allows easy volume adjustment with digital noise reduction. Call 1-866-248-1490 to order. On sale, half price, just $129.99. Or order online, supergeekssuperstore.com. Order with no risk, quality and satisfaction guaranteed.
Sally hates paying for cable TV, so she got the Super Geeks Super Tenna. Sally called 1-866-248-1490 and ordered online at the supergeeksuperstore.com. Now she watches dozens of high-definition TV channels for free. Sally gets all the major networks and specialty channels, even old classic shows. You can too, and save money every month. 100% legal. No more monthly fees. Her picture quality is as good as or better than cable. She even gets channels the cable company don't offer. Compact enough to mount in your attic or on your balcony, and tough enough to mount on your roof. Plus, the Super Tenna comes with a video amplifier and wireless remote control. Call 1-866-248-1490. That's 1-866-248-1490. Get smart like Sally and order your Super Tenna at supergeeksuperstore.com.
Auto shows are back. The pandemic took a heavy toll on all kinds of public events. Auto shows no exception, but they are bouncing back. And the Canadian International Auto Show in Toronto is no exception. In fact, this year's event, 45 different manufacturers now being represented, and they have all kinds of other displays as well. I thought we'd take a quick look at their Twitter page to show you some of the highlights from this year's Canadian International Auto Show. You see right off the bat there, we have Camp Jeep, where they're driving electric Jeeps inside the building. They give people an opportunity to test drive EV Jeeps. They also have the Barbie Corvette there, some movie cars, a lot of stuff for kids. And yes, the rumors are true. Tesla is there with both their cars and their Cybertruck. So they have those on display. You'll also see a lot of exotic sports cars, Maserati display there, General Motors, of course, there, Ford, you know, all the major manufacturers, 45 companies in total, and a heavy emphasis on electric vehicles. There's the Cybertruck again, a big draw. I personally think I don't really care for them, but a lot of people get excited about them. And you can see cars being driven in here during the setup into the Auto Exotica area, where you're seeing high-end collectible hypercars, supercars on display. A lot of dealerships stepping up and filling the void left empty by manufacturers who still, some of them not coming back to auto shows, but in the Toronto area, manufacturers filling in where manufacturers used to have displays. Local dealers are coming online and providing the displays for this year's Canadian International Auto Show. But mostly it is still a manufacturer-driven show, and there is the Cobble Beach display in a special room with vintage automobiles, Concours quality, collectible vintage automobiles on display in there, and that is always a major highlight as well. And of course, there's just no getting away from it. It's these movie cars, things like this Batmobile tumbler replica that will also be on display, that always draw the big crowds. People love those movie cars. So if you're in the vicinity, maybe even in Buffalo, it's worth the drive over the border to come over to the convention center in downtown Toronto and check out this year's Canadian International Auto Show. Well, friends, it's been a fantastic show. That's all the time we have for this episode of SST. So until next time, I'm Rick Walker reminding you, when you can't get to the car show, we will bring the car show to you online at SSTcarshow.com. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the flip side.
multimedia production.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.